What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Rambling to the Sea. What do you think of the episode so far in our new series, History of the Gurdwaras in the UK? So far, we've visited London, travelled roughly 100 miles north to Coventry, and today we're travelling a further 400 miles north to Dundee on the scenic eastern coast of Scotland. Dundee is known for jute, jam and journalism. More importantly for me, it's also the birthplace of the inventor of Beano, something that I used to love buying as a kid. More importantly for this video, it's also the home of Guru Nanak Gurdwara. The current Guru Nanak Gurdwara in Dundee claims on its website to be the most northern Gurdwara in Europe. However, that's only true if you discount the Gurdwaras in Norway, Sweden or Finland. However, the historical record seems to indicate that there was a Gurdwara that predates this by at least a couple of decades in Dundee. Now, the origins of the Gurdwara begins as always with Sikhs settling into the local area. Sikhs, amongst various other religions and nationalities, were coming to Britain after the Second World War due to the demand for labour, something we covered in the last episode. Yet, one thing not mentioned in the previous video is the British Nationality Act of 1948, which gave citizens of the Commonwealth countries the right to live and work in the UK. This, as you could imagine, led to significant immigration from India and other Commonwealth countries in the subsequent decades. Now, it seems like the history of the Gurdwara of Dundee is influenced largely by two men, Mr. Swaran Singh Atwal and Mr. Pritam Singh Atwal. It's currently unclear if they're related, but I'm assuming they are. Mr. Pritam Singh first arrived in 1947, settled in Dundee where he had relatives. His first job was as a door-to-door salesman in the Aberrath area. I probably pronounced that incorrectly. A job that even the paper admits was a daunting task for a teenager in a strange country with only a slight grasp of the language. It's reported in 1954 that he returns to Punjab and marries Jagir Kaur in 1956. They eventually returned to Dundee and Mr. Singh worked on the city's buses until 1971. At which point he set up a shop, Peter Singh's Costulest, in Lockheed High Street. The business eventually moved to Hilltown and later to Wild Market Hall, where it remained until he retired in 1994. Pritam Singh was instrumental in raising funds to convert a disused bakery in Taylor's Lane into a Sikh temple, a dream which was realised in 1976, with the first Gurdwara in Dundee opening on the 13th of April. The Gurdwara was opened by Lord Provost Charles Farquhar? Don't ask. The newspaper article goes on to read, Lord Provost said the Sikhs had integrated very well into the city's life. Pritam Singh was appointed president of Gurdwara and again played a major role when it moved to larger premises in Nelson Street. Mr. Pritam Singh, or Peter Singh as he was commonly known, passed away in 1996. Now let me introduce you to Mr. Swaran Singh Atwal, who first arrived in Dundee in 1949. He was involved in the drapery trade, worked in jute mills before ending up owning drapery shops of his own. He became more involved with the Sikh community and was instrumental in setting up the Goda on Victoria Road. He passed away on March 4th, 1990, with his funeral taking place on March 10th, 1990 at the Dundee Crematorium. So, at the moment it seems like there were certainly two Gurdwaras that may have merged into one. If we look at the location, one article mentions Nelson Street and the other mentions Victoria Road, and as you can see from Google Maps, the Gurdwara sits at the corner of both roads. I'm also assuming both of these Atwals were related, but I've come across nothing to confirm nor deny this at the moment. The Gurdwara again appears in 1991 for raising money for Oxfam, and its function seems to be rather diverse in supporting the local community. In 1995, it's the meeting place for the Bhartiya Ashram, a group that catered for the needs and interests of older members of the local Indian community. To wrap up, the last thing I could find was an article from 2011, when an accident in the Gurdwara kitchen thrust it back into the newspapers. A pressure cooker explosion caused severe injuries to a 54-year-old woman, causing her to lose part of her right leg. This incident led her to file a claim for damages 3 years later against the Sikh community of Dundee and the members of the Nelson Street Temple's Operating Committee. I couldn't find any follow-up articles to say what the outcome of the claim was, but it seems unlikely that she was successful. It may even be the case that the claim never made it to court, as I tried searching the Scottish court's website and couldn't find anything. So that's the end of that one. Pretty short and succinct. If you know more about the history of the Gurdwara in Dundee or about either of the men that we've spoken about, please get in touch. We can always do a part 2. Anyway, I will see you all in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely subscribe. Otherwise than that, I'll see you guys all in the next one.